Well, yesterday there was a shocking story that came in through from the media, broken by Sam Mikbo, about Edu Gaspar quitting the side of Arsenal. And by the way, I never saw this coming. And I thought that a lot is really going to be happening. But one thing I learned from all this was, before we really get into the details on why he has gonna hate to leave and who is expected to replace him and who is really gonna be having a huge say into the next person to replace him, there is something I've gonna hate to learn from the club of Arsenal. They don't leak. They don't leak like watering can. Because if this story was broken midday yesterday and Arsenal went ahead to confirm it 4 hours later, that shows you that they've been holding this for some time and the media couldn't obviously get access to this. That is it. And this is where you come up and obviously give them a very huge what? And you give them a very huge kudos because of what they went ahead to do. Because it was not something that really happened yesterday. It was something that has been discussed about by Arsenal for some time, and they kept it in-house. And when they kept it in-house, obviously, it went ahead to obviously come up to the world. And this also goes out to credit to Ineos, Manchester United, when they met. After United drew with Aston Villa 1-1 and went to intentional break, that meeting that was held for 6-7 hours, the fact is they discussed about who the next manager is going to be, and that's when they started talking with Ruben Amorim. A resolution was really set in that meeting, and then no one could obviously trace about it. You get? So I think that is how modern football should be run, that you need to be secretive such that you shock the media. So smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And we are powered by Mono Gadgets, dealers in brand new phones and brand new laptops. And if you know that they also bring you what we call used phones and used laptops from the United Kingdom. So call them on +256 70 99 88 665. You'll thank me later because I'll be bringing you the latest gadgets. They'll be bringing you the latest gadgets from their side and food. So that's what we had for you as far as our sponsors are really concerned. And you can as well go and really vote for iDental Clinic in the link by following the link in the description box below for what they've gonna hit obviously do in here. So let's start it off from where it all started. It came in through from the man himself known as Sammy Mikbo. You know him, tier 1 journalist for the Daily Mail. He said, Arsenal sporting director is set to leave Arsenal, is set to leave the club. Talks have been ongoing with the club's hierarchy, and while the reasons are currently unclear, it is his decision to go. More details are expected to emerge in the next 24 hours. And he gave it 24 hours, but Arsenal went ahead to obviously make that announcement, and we got to know that Edu has gone ahead to leave. He added and said, it is thought there may be a reshuffle in the responsibilities among the Arsenal hierarchy in key positions, but it is too simplistic to suggest there has been a power struggle, one source told. Obviously, the power struggle has to be there because by the time Edu came in, they gave him what we call a very huge role to obviously take over. You know, he was the overseer, decision maker, and everything. And you know, these things include finance. And when you really that person who sanctions such deals, you obviously have a lot of money that you make in through these deals, because you can have a deal with the agent, you bring the player, and you're going to be getting a certain amount of money, because these things happen even in this kind of even in these Western developed football leagues. So power struggle has been one of the things that have gonna hit to be mentioned in as to why the guy has gonna hit obviously show Arsenal his back. Now, Fabrizio Romano also came up and told us that Edu Gaspar will leave Arsenal as plan will be confirmed soon. He will leave his director position as the club. Nottingham Forest and Olympiacos owner Marianakis has always wanted Edu as a top target to coordinate the group. So you see to it that there is a bigger job for him, and he's like, all right, let's leave and obviously get to the next level and see how things are really going to be panning out. So it is a series of reasons, and Sammy Mikbol added, at the start of the summer, there was, according to sources, an emerging sense Edu was getting itchy feet and that his role didn't necessarily provide the level of challenge he wanted. It is said that the lure of football's emerging movement towards multi-club models may also be a factor here. So, as the owner of Olympiacos and Nottingham Forest wants him, looks like Edu has been sold out to the proper. But I don't believe in that. I think being at Arsenal as a sporting director is really very important than having Nottingham and is it Olympiacos. I think that to me doesn't make sense. I think there is something inside that really went ahead to obviously get Edu out of this job. Sammy Mikbo concluded and said some sources to the situation claim that to a degree there has been a dilution of dilute of Edu's powers behind the scenes at Arsenal. It is said that Tim Lewis has seen his influence grow while Richard Garlick assumed more control when he was promoted this year. So this is it. It's all about the power struggles. I told you when he came here in 2019, he was given a lot of powers. You get? And now he no longer assumes those powers because people have gone ahead to be promoted. And when they've gone ahead to be promoted, they've gone ahead to obviously see to it that they've gone ahead to obviously see to it that they really get in the best. Now, Richard Garlick, 47 years of age, is Arsenal's director of football operations, and Edu has been the sporting director. And looks like when you bring in a director of football operations, then you are like trying to really reduce the powers of Edu, and maybe he never went ahead obviously like it. And there is also another gentleman that they have gone ahead obviously talk about into this. It's Tim Lewis, Tim Lewis, Arsenal, executive vice chairman, Tim Lewis, and he's one of those that is one of the reasons as to why Edu feels like it's not safe for him to be here. So I think he made a decision to obviously leave, and it was imminent, guys. It was imminent. It never really took some long time. Now, we had some other journalists jump in with their narratives. Grammy Bailey, TBR Football Understands. A moment. They're telling us that TBR Football understands that there has been issues between Arsenal's hierarchy, Edu, which saw his position become increasingly uncomfortable. Sources have confirmed that Edu has decided to leave his role with the club, a decision not taken lightly. By the way, a lot of things have gone ahead obviously happen, and in the due course of them happening, they've resulted into causing a lot of unsettlement for the position of Edu at the club of Arsenal. So this decision cannot be taken lightly. I know he has worked well with Mikel Arteta, and we all know what it really means. Now, the Telegraph said Mikel Arteta will have a major say on how Arsenal will replace Edu. All major decisions at the club are taken by the football leadership team of Arteta, Managing Director Richard Garlick and Executive Tim Lewis. So that's the new shape or the new look at the club of Arsenal. Then Matt Lowe told us that Edu is understood to have taken the decision to stand down at Arsenal, with sources believing he has already been lined up to work for Evangelos Marianakis, who owns Nottingham Forest, Olympiacos and Rio Ave. Telegraph Sports understands that Edu has been targeted as a potential chief executive of the Marianakis Group, overseeing operations at his 3 clubs, having turned down a similar offer in the summer. So this offer was offered to him in the summer. He turned it down, and this time around he was like, all right, if my power is being diluted, then what am I doing here? Let me obviously show Arsenal my back and leave. I know it's a painful really departure for these people, especially the players, Arteta and so on and so forth. But all I can confirm to you is people come and go. People come, the Gazidis were here, at Arsenal. They've left, and I tell you what, it's really gonna be painful, but we hope that Arsenal really gets in a better sporting director, and the sporting director that will come in through is really gonna enjoy, it from where Edu has gonna hate to leave it, because Edu has found himself in a position of really not going, of not really disappointing. You get, he found Arsenal at a very bad time, brought in a new manager who was really learning on the job. Very few people trusted him, but right now he's really doing the needful. And Arsenal had to put out a story later that Edu Gaspers has today resigned from his position as our sporting director, and the article read, Edu, our former player and invisible, rejoined us in the role of the technical director in July 2019. He progressed through the club and was promoted to sporting director in November 2022, where he oversaw men and women's football and the academy. We thank Edu for the part he has played in our renewed football club strategy and driving the football club with the values of Arsenal in his heart. So that is Edu for you, and he has gonna hate to leave. Now, what do I have to say about his departure? For me, I was shocked, by the way. I was shocked for him leaving the club of Arsenal, and he's really gonna be one of that guy that hasn't gonna hate to obviously go for the all, really be part of the team when it's really harvesting, because I believe Arsenal has reached the harvesting level. The previous 2 seasons, they would have gone ahead obviously win the Premier League, but the juggernaut Man City wouldn't obviously see them win. But he has been showing ever since he came in through at Arsenal from the year of 2019, and 5 years later, Arsenal, for me, it's back to its lost glory, though they haven't gone ahead obviously win a major trophy. And I know Arsenal will look around and obviously find a better person with better experience, because for Edu, he had not gone ahead to work in Europe as a sporting director. He worked with Corinthians and the Brazilian national team, and that's the experience he had. But at Arsenal, I think he did a perfect job. And maybe he has reached an extent where he believes that maybe Arsenal needs a better person who has the experience to take the club to the next level, because he has done it all, and I think he felt like I've gone ahead to obviously even overstretch, But we cannot also fail to flip the coin. Don't you think that there is a situation at Arsenal where Edu is sensing danger and is like, me as Edu, I don't have the experience to make Arsenal win the trophy and really maybe deliver those classic players that this manager will obviously need. You get? And he's like, with me working in Brazil, I think I can try to widen my experience by working under these 3 clubs, Rio Ave, Olympiacos, and Nottingham Forest. Go out there in Brazil, source out for good players, because we've gone ahead to see him at Arsenal. They've gone ahead to source out good players, bring them to these clubs, and then sell them at huge amount of money as I really improve my contact base and experience. And I want to be shocked that in the next 3, 4, 5 years, Edu will return at Arsenal as their sporting director, with experience, because he has gone ahead to understand that the reason as to why they're really trimming off some of his powers that was given when he came in through is because they believe he's really learning on the job. Like, he was working with Corinthians and the Brazilian national team, and those don't match the levels of elite football in Europe, So they're like, let's obviously find ourselves in a position of really doing the needful. So I was like, maybe that's also one of the things that he really thought about, that he needs to go and gather that experience and get a proven elsewhere, such that he comes in through at Arsenal again 3, 4, 5 years from now when he's really proven. But it's a big loss for the club of Arsenal, and this comes in through when Arsenal haven't gone ahead to win a game of football in the previous 3 Premier League games they've gone ahead to play. You get? And this midweek they are playing Inter Milan. Over the weekend they're going to be playing Chelsea. So that is Arsenal for you, and I'm calling in for your reactions into the comment section below about Edu Gaspers shocking Arsenal exit. Did you expect it or you didn't? And lastly, go down and tell us your unforgettable moment of Edu Gaspers as the sporting director for the club of Arsenal, right? Mine is him coming in naively on the job, sacking Unai Emery, an experienced coach who had gone ahead to do things else all over the world in elite football. PSG. He was at PSG. He was at Sevilla. He was at Villarreal. He had done it, and he was at Arsenal, and everyone thought that he would be the guy. But he sacked him. After sacking him, he went in for a manager who was just an assistant under Pep Guardiola. That was, for me, my most memorable moment and decision this guy went ahead to take. Aubameyang, obviously, but getting in Mikel Arteta on the job, a man who was really learning on the job. So, your thoughts onto that are welcome in the comment section below. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and bye-bye. See you, my mates, and don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers onto this channel. I'm sorry I've been away, but I'm back.